There is a practice so quietly consistent across Jewish households of every era, every country, and every economic circumstance that scholars of Jewish social history have noted it without always understanding why it exists. It has nothing to do with luck, nothing to do with superstition, and everything to do with a principle so fundamental to the tradition's understanding of how abundance operates, that once you understand it, you will never look at your wallet the same way again. It lives not in the Talmud as a formal law, not in the Kabbalistic literature as a ritual, but in the transmission between generations, in what mothers told daughters and fathers told sons, in the practical wisdom of households that maintained stability across circumstances that should have destroyed them. Tonight, I am going to reveal this secret, and I am going to give you the full Kabbalistic and Musar reasoning that explains not merely what the practice is, but why it works. We begin in the port city of Amsterdam in the year 1680. The Jewish community of Amsterdam was one of the most prosperous in the world, refugees from the Inquisitions who had built extraordinary commercial success within 2 generations. A young scholar named Reb Shlomo Eilen, later the chief rabbi of Amsterdam, noticed something about the most stable families in the community. Not the flashiest, not the most dramatic successes, but the families whose prosperity endured. Still standing, still growing, 20 and 30 years after volatile families had risen and fallen around them. He went to the eldest member of one such family, a woman named Dona Gracia Mendes Benveniste, whose family had maintained stability across 3 generations and 2 countries, and asked, "What is the secret?" She reached into the cabinet beside her chair and produced a wallet. Old, well-worn, she opened it. She showed him what was inside. Then she said, "The secret is not in what is inside the wallet. The secret is in what my grandmother taught my mother and what my mother taught me about how to relate to a wallet, to treat it as what it actually is." Rabbi Eilen asked, "And what is it?" She said, "A vessel that has been given the specific responsibility of carrying what the divine has provided into the daily transactions of the household. A vessel of this kind has obligations. It must be honored. It must be kept with care. And the person who carries it must carry it as a person carries something that matters." What she told him that afternoon is the teaching I want to give you tonight. The first element of the wallet secret is this: the wallet is never allowed to be completely empty. This is perhaps the most widely observed Jewish wallet practice, and it is also the most widely misunderstood. Most people who know about it treat it as a superstition. Never let your wallet be empty, because an empty wallet attracts more emptiness. This is the surface of the teaching. The actual teaching is far more precise. The Kabbalistic tradition teaches a principle, the Ari of Seift formalized. A kli, a vessel, must always contain something in order to maintain its identity as a vessel. A vessel that is completely emptied has surrendered its vessel nature. It has ceased to be a container, and a vessel that has ceased to be a container cannot receive the next filling. Applied to the wallet. The person who allows their wallet to reach complete emptiness is, in the physical dimension of daily life, practicing the posture of a vessel that has ceased to contain. They are embodying multiple times each day when they open their wallet the reality of having nothing. And the tradition teaches you embody what you repeatedly enact. The practice: keep something in your wallet at all times. Not necessarily much, but never zero. Even if what remains is 1 coin, something that says, "This vessel is not empty, this vessel contains, this vessel is ready to receive." Dona Gracia told Rabbi Eilen, "My grandmother carried in her wallet through the worst years of the flight from Portugal a single gold coin that she never spent. Not once, not in the worst moments." She said to my mother, "This coin is not wealth. It is not a reserve or an emergency fund. It is a declaration that I am never a person with nothing. I am always a person with something, and a person with something, even one coin, is a different kind of person from a person with nothing. They carry themselves differently. They enter transactions differently. And the universe, the tradition, teaches, responds differently to them. The second element, the wallet, is never thrown, dropped, or handled carelessly. In many observant families, the wallet is never tossed onto a table or dropped on a counter. It is placed, set down with the deliberateness of a person who understands that what they are holding deserves to be held with care. The Kabbalistic reasoning is this: the way you handle a vessel signals to yourself and to the invisible world how you regard what the vessel contains. A wallet, handled carelessly, treats its contents as having no significance. A wallet, placed with care, acknowledges its contents as provision, as something that came from somewhere, is being held temporarily, and will move somewhere else, and that deserves to be regarded as what it is throughout its passage. Rabbi Elin watched Donna Gracia return the old wallet to its cabinet. She placed it as you would place a book you valued, not ceremonially, with the naturalness of a person for whom care in handling has become invisible habit. He understood something then. The spiritual life of a household is composed primarily of the quality of attention with which it engages with ordinary objects and transactions. These small, daily bodily practices are the actual texture of a spiritual life. And their cumulative effect, over decades, is the difference between a household that endures and one that does not. The third element, the wallet, contains a record of what has been given. Donna Gracia kept inside her wallet a small, folded piece of paper on which was written a single number, the monthly amount her household gave to charity. Not a large amount. In some years it had been very small, but it was there, current, updated each month. She said to Rabbi Elin, "This number is not for accounting. I have a ledger for accounting. This number is for identity. It tells me, every time I open my wallet, what kind of person carries this wallet. A person who gives, a person for whom the money that passes through this leather is not only mine, but partly held in trust for others. And a person who knows that about themselves relates differently to every transaction, every moment of receiving, every moment of giving, than a person who has no such reminder present at the moment of the transaction. This is the wallet secret that Jewish families know, not a superstition, not a folk charm, a sophisticated, three-part practice of conscious relationship with the physical vessel through which the provision of daily life passes. Never empty, never handled carelessly, always containing a record of what has been given. These three practices, maintained across a lifetime and transmitted across generations, create something the tradition has a precise word for: a household that treats provision as sacred. And a household that treats provision as sacred is a household that the source of provision continues to fill. Subscribe to this channel. Each week I bring you another piece of this living and extraordinary inheritance, the wisdom of Torah, the teachings of the Kabbalistic masters, the ancient practices that have sustained Jewish families through every form of difficulty into lives of meaning, wholeness, and enduring abundance. And in the comments below, tell me, which of these three practices speaks most directly to the relationship you currently have with your wallet? The secret is only a secret until it is understood, and once understood, it becomes practice, and practice, over time, becomes life.